Welcome to RISKSA TV. We're here at the first day of the PSG Conference 2014 at Sun City, and we're chatting to Dan Hugo, Chief Executive of PSG Distribution. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you. Nice being here.
What have been the major challenges to distribution, and how do you overcome these?
I think the biggest challenges that we've had in the last year are mainly regulatory driven. Regulations are changing and changing at an ever growing and a faster pace. So the big challenge is just living regulations. How do you go about complying to all the regulations and the changes? And we know of a whole raft of new changes that are coming into place. So the biggest challenge has been to live up to that. Obviously, how do we comply effectively, without costs going through the roof? It's really driving costs very high, and I think the industry at large is also faced with this particular challenge. Obviously, not only ours. We do have a very effective compliance process, and it's mainly driven by obviously people and having the right people on board, compliance people. The right risk management people, developing the right systems and processes to be able to comply or drive compliance by utilizing systems and technology. And we've been very effective in that, and obviously our advisors are benefiting out of it. So those are sort of some of the chief challenges that we've had in the last year.
And they certainly aren't small challenges, that's for sure. Just on growth at PSG, are you looking to acquire new businesses and grow the company?
Well, we're a growth company. We've always been a growth company. Just if you look at sort of where we were 16 years ago when we started, 7 offices with 6 advisors. Now we 193 offices, 242 teams, over 600 advisors, and that speaks of growth. The more advisors you have, the more quality advisors you have, that helps in sustaining this particular growth, because I think it's quite difficult to sustain that rate of growth over this time. And part of the way that we've grown the business is by appointing and acquiring independent or advisors from well, obviously our competition as well. And that remains our strategy. It remains one of our strategies to acquire new business, and we're always on the lookout for the right opportunities to acquire new businesses. I also believe, just given the challenges that the industry is facing, that, particularly regulatory changes, that there is going to be a consolidation of independent advisors in the industry. I believe it's going to become very, very onerous and difficult and costly for an independent advisor to adhere effectively to the draft of legislation and to be able to comply to it. And that, I think, is going to aid us in growing our business by creating opportunities for those type of practices to join us.
So that is one thing that obviously makes joining up with PSG quite attractive. What else would make it other companies want to join up?
Yes, I think one must be very careful that one only talks to compliance and regulation for as part of our value proposition. Obviously there's a whole lot of other benefits. One of the benefit is once again systems, and the systems that we can provide an advisor or a group of advisors to run their businesses more effectively. Efficiencies are important. Good margins are important. To have a sustainable business, and we've got very, very good systems and support systems, and that support is we can talk about technical support to provide an office or an advisor with the necessary technical support to be able to service the clients effectively. We've got very good HR systems, which is part of the value which can be utilized by anybody that joins us. We've got a fully fledged administrative system where we can administer the administration, the financial administration, premium collections, ensuring that an office is operational, the purchasing of furniture, technology, computers, negotiating rents, entering into rents, is all part of the benefits that we as a company obviously offer anybody that joins us, and that drives the costs down of an independent or any advisor for that matter. So the advisor can concentrate on doing what he does best, and that is managing clients, gaining new clients. In other words, running the relationship with the client. We take care of the back office.
Certainly does simplify things, yes. Another one of the benefits of being part of this company is the access to product suppliers. I think you mentioned 213 relationships, Does this complicate things?
Well, I think it complicates things tremendously. And it is definitely an additional challenge going forward. How many product suppliers can one really have on your panel? Currently, it's a huge benefit. Anybody that joins us has access to all of these product suppliers. As we all know, if you're an independent and you contract with a product supplier, the product supplier has certain requirements, in that contract. Some of them may be financial guarantees that you have to provide. Some of them may be minimum production levels that you have to acquire or reach in order to maintain that contract. With us, that's not the problem. Obviously, because of the scale of our business and the leverage that we have, because we have so many advisors, it gives us the ability to be able to service, a large number of product suppliers. Our challenge is, however, once again a regulatory one, and the due diligence requirement that we have to do on each and every product supplier is, how do you do a due diligence on 213 product suppliers as well as their products? How big a due diligence team should we start having to or have to employ to be able to do that? So I think that's a challenge that we don't have the exact answer for yet, but we are looking at ways and interacting with our product suppliers to determine how big that panel should actually have. Once again, I think if we talk to our value proposition, that obviously would benefit any independent that joins us, that they don't have to worry about doing a due diligence, because obviously an independent also has to cross all of those hurdles on his own. And the question is, how does he go about doing it? So it's more time taken out of his marketing day, his client relationship day, because he now has to do diligences for product suppliers.
Certainly is a lot to think about. Thank you very much for joining us.